This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better personal life.
When I dreamt about people, I met an obstacle like that. When I was in law school and I went out to encounter and I was able to do behavior change very easily. I did not have a name for it. I just knew I want to help people in real life. I want to work with people dealing with the decisions. There was no life coaching. That language was not there in Africa. I did not have that word. I just knew somewhere around people like maybe psychology. So I went to study psychology because it's maybe nearer. You may not find a degree that exists that covers what you will find. Not yet. Gabriel, you can ask the Zoom people to type something, I see it. Dr. Benjamin needs to go to all the schools in Africa and share this wealth. All right. Umenipoteza? Okay, yeah. And share this word of wisdom to our children in primary school so that next generation will do better because they would have known better. Thank you, Josephine. I see you, that the one. My question, please ask for me. I work for over 13 hours a day because of how busy our industry is. And my boss is fiery, cannot take any excuses for missed deadlines. I also realized recently that I am the least paid in the entire organization, yet I do most of the work. I came in from a lower paying job and I didn't know that the rates in this new organization, no one in the entire organization is is also older than 2 years due to toxicity of the place. How do I zoom in from this point? Thank you. Keep your questions, just preserve it somewhere. After we cover, we'll come back to them. You may find something that is going against what society says. You want to be a journalist, and the way you are talking. You know, the way people just contempt, mockery. When I found out I need to work with people, I was very poor with people skills. My personality, I was not naturally warm and conversational. It was, that element was, in fact, I remember buying a book to study women because I was brushing women off every day. I couldn't stand how they could get emotional, start crying, make me wait for them to finish crying so that they can continue talking. Can you give me the facts? You can deal with the feelings later. I was that brash and impatient. And now I'm supposed to help people heal the feelings I don't want to deal with. What you find may have a reputation for being the opposite of your personality. I want you to zoom in. Find out your core and center your career there. Excelling becomes deeply pleasurable. Listen, if you find your sweet spot, you will never work another day in your life. Because work will become like play. People escape on weekends to go to meet points, to eat meat and drink beer and rest. People escape to go and rest. You'll be escaping to go back to your thing. I hope you know the guys who discovered Google were working on it by the side. I'm not asking you to resign. Sometimes something excels when you're not giving it pressure to also feed you. Are we together? If you can put autopilot on your current career, because anyway, you have done it so many times, you can do it with your eyes closed. Some tellers know the code for this water without checking. They just type and they feed the water. And they're talking to their colleague there. You're wondering, are they really attending to your business? It has become so internalized, they don't need to practice it. They don't need to memorize it. That person is very easy to switch to another career because automatically, this one can be autopilot. The guys of Google were doing PhD, the lecturer suggested, start it by the side. You can even defer a semester to go launch it. You can use your annual leave to go launch it. And if it doesn't pick, you stand to lose nothing. The two guys went and tried it. You know what Google is today. So it became the technological giant. I hope you know also, Facebook was invented by a student, okay, on PhD level, but still on that level in school. I hope you know that many inventions were being tried by people who had other things going on. It was not somebody who had to drop and then they are collapsing. When I talk about you finding your career, many people are not finding this conversation intriguing because they think, I'm already fixed. I hardly have time to breathe. My career is already here. I have family. I have loan. I have mortgage. I don't have room to change. Maybe after I retire. When you retire, you'll be too tired. Your energy, do you know, apart from the fatigue you feel after a hard task, there's a fatigue of life. Some of us have seen our mothers endure abuse, saying after the children grow, she will leave, she will start another life. By the time the children grow, she's tired. You have seen that? She enters robotic mode. Just zooming, just floating around life. Feeling nothing. She has lost her joy, her spark, because of many years of enduring the wrong place. That's what you are risking. You stay in the wrong thing, you lose your gusto for life. Take me to step 2. Okay, let me explain further this explanation. Stop making just a living and start making a fortune. That will be the result. We'll explain it more. Stop merely serving clients and start changing lives. We'll get there. Start selling your skills only to highest bidder. That's just explanation of that point. Stop being loyal to history. Start moving with the future you have in mind. After you zoom in, we'll explain it more, but you'll find yourself so throbbing with energy that you can't imagine being paid pennies. Do you know why you're accepting average pay? Because you know your input is also average. Do you know why you're being paid so small? Because you know you're so replaceable. And they even address you dismissively. Take it or leave it. We are busy. What do you... Some of you here have shared the frustration of not finding professional salon, professional barbershop. Many of them trying to make it look like a nightclub, you know? You're trying to do a haircut. These guys are doing theatrics. You're just trying to groom. These guys are so busy trying to do other things. That might be your business, but you think it's too small. Where will I get $1 million to equip the place? How will I get the money? The day you will find what you are meant to do, you will do it on another level. Give me step 2 of the Millionaire Move 2. The Millionaire Move 2 is called break outwards. Break outwards. Let me explain what, after you write break outwards, listen to this explanation. And the first point is that when an egg breaks inward, life ends. When an egg is broken by outside crash and pressure, the chick dies. If you're being pressurized from outside, something will die. If you're being pressurized by work, by a wrong love relationship, if your pressure is coming from fear of being abandoned, you are risking your entire existence. I want you to break outward. How do we break outward? When the egg is broken from inside, outward life begins. The chick has broken the yolk, the shell. The chick has broken the wall, and life, now it can fly. Many of us, we can feel caged already. Very small salary, very predictable life, monotonous days. Monday looks like Wednesday, looks like Thursday. Every day you fight with alarm 7 times because you don't want to go where you are going, you are being dragged. And you arrive there yawning, you do bare minimum, and no sooner is time up that you wake up and leave, you are fixed in a treadmill. How do you break outward? This is how we are going to do it. Steadily develop investments aside from your main job. Let me explain this gap there. Before steadily developing, let me explain what happens. So we have said you're going to look for your sweet spot, what is naturally exciting to do. Are we there? And you will not stop until you find what is naturally good to do. What if I find more than 2 things? Start what is the most closest. You may find 2 possible careers you really love a lot. Start what is closer to you. Start with that. They will weave together. Actually, step 3, I'll be showing you that. They will weave together later. Some of your gifts are in different industries. What is closer? Some of you can sell anything. Honestly, you live here, you go to help your friend to sell clothes. You're doing it part-time and you're helping her to sell more shoes, and you came for 2 hours. She's in the wrong career, you're in the wrong career. But once in a day, you interchange. You're too afraid to do what they're doing. They're too, and they also don't switch. There are some men who love cooking so well. They just cook well. You know, schools employ men as cooks. Why? Because of the lifting, heavy volumes.
Yeah.
So there's a place men have a natural advantage. Just a lot of, if the sufuria is the size of this table, and this is a cook, you are torturing Jasmine if you're asking her to this ugali, and now she's moving around, moving the ugali. They usually employ men because there sometimes is no skill, it's strength. But there's a place where when a man is skilled in cooking, women have told me weird things. They prefer a male nurse, a male salonist, a male cook. He is likely to have less issues. If a man is professional, he is the best. They prefer that. If he knows how to keep his boundaries, they prefer that. They keep going back there because he just does his work. Sometimes women don't like the way you have better hair than them, and you are a customer. They start discussing whether that part is natural. Now you innocently go to a shop and people start discussing. You know, I don't know what is that. Sometimes for the men, the thing you want is not popular. So after you find it, you start building on it while you are still doing the main thing. If it's not, I don't advise you to jump immediately. You'll get into crisis. Give yourself a year or two to have sustainability while you can experiment by the side. Are we together? But people like Jasmine and what's your name, my brother? Emmanuel. People like Emmanuel don't have anything going on that is serious, and they have a support of a parent. Maybe they should shift fully. That's what I did. If you discover yourself before you marry, you have given yourself free head start. Free. When you have a family, you have a trailer. Trailers don't take corners anyhow. If you are driving your small Vitz, you can always, But when you have a transit, you start indicating far and you use several lanes to change. You even have other guys to give you a lot of space. That's how family is. It's a trailer. So yes, you move. So those of us who have trailers, I don't want you to move suddenly. But I don't want you to procrastinate, because the next danger is you keep saying next year, the other time. I want you to start slowly creating something there with a little. In fact, I want you to assign your development portion of your salary, apart from the rest that you had committed to Shylocks, buying nonsense. Some of you borrowed money to buy nonsense. You bought a plot that is a dam as we talk.
I said it.
So that dam you bought with a lot. Nobody is saying site visit now because the site is a dam. And so the little you are earning, I just want you to assign 20% for that exercise I'm describing. Assume instead of 50, you're earning 40. Play like that. Put it aside and start being the pilot in capital. Some of you, your each is for business. Does anybody want to give me an illustration of what they're thinking about so that I can use it as a real life? One thing they wish they can do is not what they're doing, but they know they can do it well. Anybody? Quickly, I use you as an illustration. Thank you. Your name and what it is?
My name is Martha Kakeha.
Yes, Martha.
I'm a lecturer practitioner.
Yes.
What I want to do is to start a dairy farm.
Dairy farming?
Yeah, dairy.
Kumbe tumesuguana na maziwa akiwa hapa. Where's Daima from? Is Daima from Uganda? Daima is from where? The original company? Uganda. They came here when milk was so flooded, we were pouring it. You remember that? They came and still conquered the market. They had the passion shared. They believed in clean and long-lasting without refrigeration. They introduced that. So let's say now she stood in nature and she just buys one cow and gets one boy and puts a CCTV camera to monitor it when she's doing her HR. She's also HRing another cow. So she has put one CCTV, one shed, one cow, and one shamba boy. When he sees that she can call and supervise, she starts slowly. What is she learning? How does my energy respond? Then she finds it exciting. She's massaging the cow. When you love things, you do weird things. She's connecting the cow well, checking the health. Then she learns cows can die of this. It could even die as an illustration that there is a plague that can come. Some of you could be loving pig farming, you won't, whatever. So for her, I just want her to continue this, but give herself a deadline of starting something around her passion by the side. So stop taking extra hours. All your extra hours, take it there. The overtime, take it to that thing. Work only the assigned hours in this main job. Use that to develop. That's what we say, you zoom in. As you zoom in, if you have the ability, some of you, your partner is working and they can support you to launch, they are supportive. Use that. Totally leave. Go move fast. Save time. Save time. You know, some of us get married and you know this person, they already tell you they studied this because their parents wanted it. But their passion is elsewhere. You tell them, I will handle this for 1 year or 2. Go try your things. I know when you take off, both of us, we are better. If you're not yet married, that is your advantage. The next thing I want us to do, Martha, the next thing she's going to do is, now, when she starts finding the ropes, we are talking about breaking outward. Breaking outward now means steadily develop inside, apart from your main job. The main job she has now, she's steadily developing that thing in her area of passion. The next thing is investments, not side hustles. Hustles are stressful, investments are steady. Never do side hustles, they are distractions and they tire you. Avoid them. They never bring you money, they just bring drama. We all know that. You buy matatu, you are dealing with the police, you behave like a thief, you are hiding, certificate expired, the other one here, you have problems in government, you are being arrested, sure. Don't hustle. The difference between a hustle and an investment is, a hustle, you're only thinking of what you can get out of it. Start a side hustle to give you something, they never work. Investment is, you are putting energy where your heart is. That's the difference. And where your heart is, it is steady because you are closely monitoring, you are involved, you are engaged. Hustles are restless because we delegate to people who have no interest. You buy a motorbike, they leave it on the road. So you start leaving the conference because your motorbike has been seen. You see that traffic on Thika Highway, imagine it's my car that has been left on there. The driver has run away. Now I have to go and rescue it. My friend was running a lorry to transport fruits. You know, some of you get a transport car, then you give it to Copia or some of these companies, so that you can be given at home. You'll be receiving that $1,000. You give them your car worth 2.5 million. Before you pay the loan, the car is finished. Now you have another loan to pay. So my friend heard that the car has broken apart and it has rolled. One part as the brake stopped working. It rolled backwards carrying mangoes, and it has rolled. The road is full of mangoes. So now he's going while he's undercover for people not to guess he's the one. To go look for people to gather the mangoes. Side hustles are stressful. When it is what you love, it is steady. I know people like Paul look very charitable and they may be asking me, what if what I love is not directly merchandisable? I just like helping the poor. I feel for people in the street. How do I merchandise that? Where is the money there? I'll tell you about that. Some of you who want to do things that are just compassionate, don't jump to them now. You'll be exhausted. Have you seen pastors who you pity because they're always helping and they're always depleted? They have no fees for their own children. He has school fees and he meets crying women. The school fees was for his child, but he meets people who have learned how to beg. We did not eat to look at this child crying. The poor priest gives everything. The children are being chased home. You know, sometimes the wives of pastors are resentful because they can't predict your behavior. You're too merciful. Some of you are too merciful. You can't be predicted when you come home. Compassionate projects will come on level 3. Please hold them. For now, you do them by the side and slowly. Don't take your energy to compassion before you stand. In aviation, they say before you put oxygen on anybody, even a child, you first of all put it on yourself. So we are putting oxygen on you. So don't start helping now. Some of you, I can see compassion on your face. And you're thinking about the old women in this cold season. Oh, the grandmas in Qatar. Imagine Kijabe and old was they are dying. Help me, guys. Some of you, it's okay. This is what mother will do. I want you to shatter your family or cultural glass ceilings one by one. So, Martha, when you start that thing, it will look awkward, especially if you come from a family of engineers and they took you to a clean career. And now you're talking about chaos and dung and manure, smelling things. When I said I want to become a counselor or something, they told me, so you want to deal with the muddy people? They look at you like you're also going mad. The glass ceiling is what is taboo, what is unheard of. Many of the things God sent you here are not previously famous. They are new because the problem you're solving is also new. Are we together? In another world, if I had my way, and one day when you reach level 3 of Millionaire moves, I hope I'll be able to do that. I just like to provide healthy food. Healthy food. If I can do that, former first lady wanted to provide mobile clinics for mothers so that she can reduce infant mortality and help mothers get dignity while giving birth. So she wanted an ambulance for every county, one for a county. One is small for so many millions of people, but she said, I better have one at least. She did everything, even running marathon in Daegu, abroad, to raise funds. And she managed. She called it a Beyond Zero campaign. 0 deaths, 0 infant death, 0 mother death. She was already a first lady. That's when she could afford to spread. We shall get there. Don't do charity in the beginning. It will drain you. You do it in a measured way. So it may be that the glass ceiling my friend Lily has to break is that in their home, this is not traditional. This being on the screen, we are low-key people, our family, why are you exposing us? We don't like to hear you referring. Now we see you there talking. I faced that. I'm talking about it because I was there. Nobody was in screens on my family. They live low-key. Maybe the glass ceiling that you have to do is that route that will make you look crazy. Let me remind you that you are doing the finals of your life now. Your life is happening for the last time now. This is the finals. Some of you have never woken up to there is no tomorrow. This is today. Tomorrow is just a promise. Today is the only present we have. We call it present. You are supposed to live your life now. Forget about your grandma, your uncle for a moment. Let's live for you. Let's take a direction that works for you. Build a different community united around abundance and freedom. The people you see here today and other people who will click with the language you start talking, they should be your new family. We have natural family and we have soul family. So wait, natural family versus soul family. So natural is biology. It's the brothers of Jesus who are telling him now, you say you are a popular person. Why don't you go through the meetings and explain your concepts? He told them, my time is not yet. But your time is always there. Even if he was going down to Jerusalem, he wouldn't go with them because they were mocking him. He went by himself. Even if you end up doing what they want you to do, sometimes you have to do it without them. Gideon wanted to change the worship of his family, of his area. But people loved that idol so much, if he destroyed it when they are watching, they could stone him. So he went at night. Some things you do at night. You change the tradition at night, out of view. Listen, some of the things I want you to do are unheard of in your small community, even in your small area. After you dig up, what you will find may not be popular. So how do you break outwards? By outwards, I mean become self-motivating. Previously, you have been caged by tradition and culture. And you wanted approval of your mother and your dad and your pastor. People have been blessing you. You should look for the writings of Robert Greene and get that chapter. Is it Laws of Human Nature? Yes. I think Laws of Human Nature. And then there's a chapter he calls The End of Mentorship. Is it a chapter or just a segment called The End of Mentorship? I listened to that part on repeat, my brother, to do the following. Because many of you will not do it if you don't understand this. Are you looking at me? Some of the people who built you previously up to now will not connect with where you are going henceforth. The Laban who you came to when you had nothing and you were a boy, he gave you a wife. You respect him for being a father-in-law, also an uncle. Avoid one person having two titles in your life. If you marry the daughter to your pastor, move to another church, because having a pastor and a father-in-law in the same person, he's a demigod, isn't it? Can curse you, can interfere with your church and your family with one word. So, this uncle was also a father-in-law. And then he is also the employer. Huh? The boss, uncle, father-in-law. And Laban, now Jacob, he starts mistreating him, and Jacob decides to break away. Your wife is his daughter. All these gods were previously his. Your mother is my sister. I even raised your mother. What? Some of the people I'm asking you to break away from, otherwise are impossible if you don't understand the following. Mentorship has an expiry date. If you don't learn to retire your mentors, they will expire you. How do you know it's time for retirement of your Laban? The boss, the father-in-law, the uncle, you know the time has come when they do what they did to Jacob. They change your wages 10 times. They switch up on you. They lie, they accuse you falsely. You know the strain has arrived because they don't understand you and they accuse you falsely. Now, many of you have already sensed a nasty breakup looming, but you think because they spoke into your life and you are blessed, if they also speak badly, you'll be cursed. That's what you think, isn't it? You have elevated them to be the mediator between you and your destiny and your God. I'm so happy for that passage in the Bible that says there's no mediator between man and God except the man Jesus Christ. I'm so happy to liberate me. They threaten that they can pronounce and you are doomed. You will be struck with lightning. You'll be swept by floods. And they tell you horrifying stories. The end of mentorship, I mean, some of our fathers who you work for their company, they have made you. Some of our parents, okay, is my Zoom people, they're still okay, yeah? Perfect. And you can display them for a moment. Let's see them. All right. Guys, how do I grow myself and my money while simultaneously growing and nurturing my young family? Okay, this is Omondi, I see you. Samsung, escaping the matrix, all right, permanent and passionate scam. And rotate, all right, we see you there, you're listing the teachers, thank you. All right, Dr. Benjamin Zulu, what do you do when you have all these wonderful business ideas, but your spouse or family does not appear willing to support you and they don't have a plan B? Thank you, that's what we are discussing now. So, one of the things my mentor told me was, sometimes you can just buy a car and you don't fit in that church anymore, in that community, in that friend group. Just a car. You are always the topic of discussion for buying a car. And for you, that's a beginner car. But for them, it's an impossible thing. You must have stolen, a man bought it for you, you have a sponsor woman, you have mama, you have mama. You hear so many stories, and for you, this is a very basic car anyway. You can outgrow the same environment that gave birth to you. You can become too big for the same people who nursed you, and you're not being proud. That was a hard concept for me to wrap my head around, because you look like you're being proud, isn't it? Even when you're humble, you can recognize that it has become impossible. So how do you break out one? Am I saying you become unteachable? Retire the authority figures. I don't want you to call anybody dad when they are not your father. Stop calling those people mom. Stop giving people permanent titles. Stop being called my son by people who you are not their son. Retire them. How do you retire them? I just want you to create a distance for self-determination. Create distance for self-determination. There are some people I love very much, my brother Paul, but I stopped visiting them too much because they want too much updates about my decisions and they want me to justify. When I started looking for wife, I realized so many people wanted to see who I'm considering for them to weigh in. Because they had guided me around before, my career, my degree choice, they had guided me. Even now they feel the same authority to guide. I had started departing from many of their notions. Robert Greene says, you know it's time to leave. When the difference between your mentor and you becomes so small, you can actually correct or even add to most of their ideas. He said you should not live with chaos or disrespect. They once contributed to your life. You should do what we are saying today. Just create distance for self-determination. When they ask you why you don't show up so much in their space, why you don't pick calls, when you don't do this, give excuses to just justify that. It's not, it's sikobaya, it's not out of malice. Justify that. Tell him, I don't mean ill, I've just been too busy. You can always say, things have gotten busy. You can always play victim that you've been overwhelmed by circumstances to get away from the conversation. But the truth is, you're drifting away. You remember 3 ways of breakup? There's a method of breakup. One, when you're breaking away from Pharaoh, who is very powerful, you do slow fade. You disappear slowly without disappearing. You revisit today, disappear for 2 months. Visit today, disappear for 3. Visit today, disappear for a year. Powerful people, you don't break up immediately. Their anger, they can hurt you. They can smear campaign against you. This boss, some bosses have literally made you from intern to the director you are. Do you even have the guts to disrespect that person directly? But you can know when it is time to move on. True of us. How do you do it? Slow fade. The next method of breaking away from powerful people is sabbatical leave. Sabbatical leave is when Israelites say, we're only going to pray and we'll be back. So why are you carrying everything? Our God is unpredictable. We don't know what he might say. Pharaoh says, okay, go ye now that are men. Go men only first. Say, no, we'll go everything, including the hooves of our cows. We'll be back. After how long? We are not sure. So I want you to learn to create a pilgrimage. You can even quote a mysterious tradition your family has always observed. And your great-grandma, the matriarch, before she died, she commanded. You're not lying, you're being wise. Remember the 2 midwives who said the children of Israel don't need help. The women of the Jews are very strong. They give birth before we arrive. It was a lie, but God bless them. Lies and wisdom, the difference is motive. When your motive is to protect your destiny and your purpose, you're not lying, you're being wise. If you see a person trying to cut Zulu with a panga, and they ask you when you're there, where is Zulu? And you see he wants to, will you tell him, me, I don't lie, let me just tell you the truth. That guy is in that room. No. You say, you didn't meet him, he's in the lift, that one, so that you can hide the poor guy. No, you have not lied, you have used wisdom. The motive is to do good, isn't it? Learn to tell innocent lies, okay? Because your motive is clean, okay? So next time that person who keeps asking, pass by my shop, and then they give you, some generosity is a form of control. Are you aware of that? Some people are still sending you M-Pesa every week to keep you under them. Even when you don't need it. And when you don't ask, they get offended. They want to keep you under them by some funny provision. You will know it's not generosity the day you will ask for help that can change your life. Uncle, you've been giving me pocket money, this and that. How about you buy me a printer? I start my small business. Cannot work, focus on. A person who wanted to make you grow, they will empower you to grow. Break outward. The last breaking I want you to do is try even when you are afraid. Try even when you are afraid. That project. Try even when you are afraid. That project that aligns with number 1. After you find out that project that is number 1, that you zoomed in on. Try it. It's very hard, but try it. Try it. So when my mentor brought this to my understanding and I was studying law, and I realized I wanted to have some credibility to counsel people. I have counseled people, they're responding so well, but I don't have human psychology. I have natural gifts, but my axe is not sharpened. Not everybody must go back to school, but you must get some kind of training to refine and understand the market and finer skills. You can do it on the job, but you do need to have some understanding, isn't it? Some of you have a very raw gift in voiceover. Voiceover. Be careful with what people keep complimenting about you. Be careful. Sometimes it is so clear to everybody except you. Particularly people who don't know you, so they can't be envious. Do you know when you have a good shape or you are very suave and elegant, your siblings will not call it, they will give it a bad name. Imagine you have a glowing eyes and they call you Torch. They make you ashamed of the very thing that makes you shine. David was so fine and likable Look at this proud. You're always proud. Why did you come here to do? Hey, what did you live with a few sheep? I know you. You just want to watch the battle. He is here to conquer the battle. But the brother is calling him, look at you. The father didn't think the boy can fight. He sent him to take lunch. I'm not saying the opinion of your relatives. If you are lucky to have a family, the families I want us to raise. If you're lucky to have the kind of children I want us to raise who support each other, you're lucky. But many times, that I'm describing does not come from home. It comes from people who hardly know you. From random places. Some of you just have a presence. You walk in and you turn heads. Presence. You sit there, they elect you the leader. You're minding your business, everybody wants to talk to you. You meet new people, they open their heart. When you think of counseling, counselors paid, how will I live? Counsel. You help people relieve their stress with so little, just natural gift, not training at all. I want you to go and start that counseling. You can even start it safely using virtual office. Just do Zoom meetings, sessions. Stop counseling in church alone. You know, church is very safe. It's free. There are free. Many people with many problems. They never pay anything. They always say, God bless you. Many people hide their gifts around the church community. And they never move forward. It's just surrounded there. I want you to step out, although you are afraid of meeting out in the world. Go to an office. I went to some guys who are running the office, and I told them, let me use your office, and I'll be giving you this percentage. I started my career that way. I risked. But I'm only paying the sessions I do. 40%. They gave me a very big percentage. But I needed to try and learn. So I'm convincing people. Come to office, you coordinate, get the office, you talk, you do this, do that. Try, and you'll be shaking your voice at first. There'll be a shake in your legs. Maybe nervous. Break out wide. While you are stammering, when there's a stammer and a shake. Weirdly, some of you may be dreaming of being a chauffeur, driver for executive people. Driving your own car, carrying private people to wherever at the rate that is required to be paid, and you may be doing that with Mercedes. Some of you want to operate a chauffeur, Mercedes, Audi, classy. And that you see it. You have seen it in Dubai, you have researched it in there. All developed countries have it. But it is nowhere. When I see in gym cab, no, this one is coordinated from airport. No, which other one? Because of where I live, I know, and God will understand. My friend, maybe you are the one to start it. But if you tell the people you want to leave HR manager to drive a taxi, they place their hands on you to exercise that demon. Do you know the guys who started many of the things we see today started with a personal itch? One day Bill Gates went to give a talk in India, and one of the students who attended the talk, Bill Gates was telling them to believe themselves, try. He was on the point I'm on now. Of try. Give it a try of that idea. It's okay. If you fail, you will register in history. Try. And are you aware the guys who are trying to invent an aircraft, many died before managing it, but other guys picked on where they had left. That's how the flight was invented. Sometimes you don't finish the thing, it's too big for you alone. The Wright brothers read the attempts of flying. The gliders, people are gliding the hills. And it dawned on them, everybody was applying the concept of the of stability on the road. They were using the ship in the sea. When it tilts, that's dangerous, avoid tilting. Then they were running bicycles, they were selling bicycles, the Wright brothers. And they knew bicycles should tilt. But what if we invent aircraft after bicycle rather than the ship? So they said, let's try. Let's give it the ability to navigate. And that's how they invented. By studying what other guys had tried and it did not work, they picked up from there and now it worked. Some of the things you pick up on, your relative failed at it and they'll discourage you because it failed. I saw a bank here in Ruiru called U&I Bank, microfinance bank. Okay, you know I&M, okay? Now, let me introduce. There must be a Kikuyu in that. Kikuyus are they just take an idea and run with it. You and I. You know? Do you know, equity was a funny idea. We just want to make people equal. Who will come to equity? Poor people. Rich people don't want to be made equal. Do they want to be made equal? Who fights for equality? The poor. So it looks like if you start a bank, you call it equity, you're targeting the poor. How will the poor, where is the money? He said, yes, I want those people to come with gumboots and do banking. Banking was for the elite. Even maintaining a bank, you needed money, the account. It was being cut money every. Equity made it, Gikomba, wherever people, you had to come with a passport, photocopy. Equity said, we can take the photo. What's the big? The photocopy is machine and a camera. What's the big? They said, just come as you are. That's how they broke down. The guy started an idea that looked funny. So the U&I bank, I like that concept of, they say very fast and reliable and cheap loans. They just want to give loans cheaply without drama. I don't know them. I just saw the advertisement and I like the concept. Perhaps you're also thinking of microfinance and you are afraid because there are too many microfinances. You are afraid. Try when you are afraid. But I want you to not put your weight of survival on your new project. If possible, the job you are doing, continue paying your bills by it, then attempt this on a pilot means. Let's not forget that point.
This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heartmans. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better